sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless, and today there doesn't seem to be any sense going on. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to join the live chat, just go to shrmedia.com. Click on the chat room button, join the conversation. If you want to watch a live broadcast, go to Reaver.one, click on the live show button. You can watch the show live. Also, if you go to Reaver.one, if you want to support the show, pick up a Reaver shirt, hoodie, or a coffee mug. Kind of a little bit not exactly with it right now. I'm still trying to catch up on everything that's going on. For those that don't know, Brussels has been attacked. There has been multiple explosions. Right now it's up to 34 people killed, and that number is climbing. So my number may be off right now, but it is going to be climbing. Just 20 minutes ago, it was at like 30, 31. There's at least 180 injured, as a coordinated terrorist bombing has rocked Brussels airport and subway system during the rush hour Tuesday morning in Belgium capital. The two bombings, one at the airport where 11 people were reported killed. Again, these numbers are very fluid. They can change at any moment. Don't go exactly by my numbers. And another bombing at a metro station. I'm not even going to butcher these names. It was near the European Union headquarters, where the mayor's office said 20 were killed. If anybody has been watching the news, knows that several, and it's been going back since the Paris attack, a lot of the terrorists have been caught within Brussels and Germany. But Brussels, it was just this week, one of the main terrorists involved in the Paris attack. He was supposed to be one of the suicide bombers, but he backed out. And he had dealings with the planning and all that of it. But he was just captured in Brussels the other day. And now you have two explosions. This is getting unreal lately. Hang on. Ear clogged up for some reason. Woo! Got a lot of pressure going there, and it just... Now, this is just getting unbelievable. We've been playing patty cakes with ISIS. We've tried to... Now I'm talking the world. Yes, we've done some bombings. Woohoo! Yay. Shock and awe. Woo! It showed them. Nobody is safe. No country is safe from ISIS. I was talking to my dad over the weekend, and we had talked about ISIS shortly, and I reiterated exactly what I said several months ago. And a couple months ago, I don't think he exactly agreed with me, but now he's agreeing with me, and there's others that are agreeing now. We need to hit ISIS. The United States needs to hit ISIS so fucking hard. We scare the crap out of them. We hit them so maliciously. We scare the crap out of them. We hit them so hard and so viciously that no organization dares step up for another several decades. And it's not to try to be violent. It's not for the gore of it. You put the fear of Allah in them. You hit them so hard, they'll be afraid to go and terrorize any of these countries. They'll be afraid to attack us. Hit them so hard and viciously. The hell with these rules. These rules of engagement we've put up have tied our men and women in the military. We've tied their hands. Stop worrying about offending your enemies. This hippie crap is just that crap. This love and peace, and we got Trudeau to the north of us. Well, we're going to start a letter writing campaign instead of bombing them. People, that's not going to stop them. Lobbing a couple bombs and missiles at them is just wasting money. I've said it before. We are allowing them still to be on the offensive. By just lobbing some bombs, they don't really have to defend. Do we every now and then hit something important? Yeah, blind squirrel gets a nut sooner or later. If someone is throwing a rock at your house, yeah, you might break a couple windows here and there, but really, it's not. You don't have to defend that. You can go on the offensive attack. Now, if you got a bunch of those same people that were throwing rocks now are outside your house banging on your door, you can't run out and go attack them. Where you can't attack their house exactly because you'll leave your place on defenseless. And that's what I'm talking about. We can't just keep lobbing these rocks at them. We need to take the fight to them, put them back on their heels, put them back where they have to defend, and put all their time and effort into defending. So they can't do these attacks in Brussels. And I'm not talking let's wipe out all Muslims, because I do not subscribe that all Muslims are bad. I'm sorry, I do not subscribe to that. I am not going to lump a whole religion. But I'm also not exactly saying we should open our door to all Muslims. We need to figure out who's who and figure out how to tell who's who. And no, it's not a religious test, because we are not allowing Christian and Jews from the Middle East that are being prosecuted, that are being killed, that are being murdered, are being turned down for asylum in the United States. They're being turned down in other countries. The only ones we're allowing in anymore, it seems like, out of the Middle East are the Muslims. So don't sit there and try to say that I'm against one religion. No, I'm not. Because right now, Middle East, nope, stop. We are redistributing, which is the socialist way, we are redistributing the terrorists. And that's exactly what we're doing by allowing all this invading to be done into Europe and then spreading them over a different area. Brussels imported the terrorists. It doesn't mean that they're at fault for this attack. This should have never happened. None of these attacks should be happening. We should be taking the fight, as I said, so hard to ISIS and put the fear of Allah in them and send them back onto their heels, send them back running, instead of let them attack. I was raised that as a country, it's been our job, whether people like it or not. I'm tired of people bitching about it. It's been our job. We have been the leader of the world. We have been the one everybody follows. We have been Big Brother, helping. And this is what happens with socialism. This is another perfect example of socialism. Yes, it is. And I'm going to, just give me a minute. See, we've had to deteriorate our military. We've had to weaken it. We have taken away defenses and all that in Europe. And I know this would not have stopped the attacks. If this had been a president that had a set of cojones on him, intestinal fortitude, and had originally taken the fight and not stripped our military down to the bare bones, not been afraid to say the word extreme jihadist, we could have taken the fight to them. We would have been able to protect our allies. See, with socialism, we've had to cut our military so that we could afford all these other programs. So we haven't been able to protect our allies. We have turned our back on our allies. But I know the people of the left don't care. They think giving hugs and sending letters will stop ISIS from doing these attacks ever again. I see they're doing real great with that. And don't tell me, well, you military attack. We haven't done any military attacks that have been worth a damn. No, that's not a knock against our military. That is a direct knock on our administration. What we need to do as a country, and I've said this many a times, God, I feel like a broken record anymore with what I have to say about all this. Stop letting our politicians run the war. That's what has screwed up our wars for the last several decades. We let our politicians run the war. Let our military run the war. That's what we pay millions of dollars to train all these soldiers, all these generals. Let them run the war. And politicians sit behind their comfy little desk and think they're in charge. Now, it's hard. I mean, I don't want to go over everything that's been going on with the attacks in Brussels. Not that I don't want to cover it. I don't have a lot of access to information while doing the show, and I do not want to give out false information. So many times, everybody's so quick to jump on the news of the day, and they give out false information to spread fear. That's not something I like to do. So I'd rather sit back. Everybody knows that there's been an attack now. An airport and a metro train station has been attacked in Brussels. Bombs have been set off. There's reports of people screaming Allah Akbar and all these other Arabic sayings. And an unexploded suicide belt was also found in the aftermath. But I will give the Prime Minister of Belgium credit. And why I'm going to give him credit? Because his words were, we are at war. What we feared has happened. We were hit by blind attacks. We have been subjected for the last few months in Europe to acts of war. But yet we have a socialist party that refuses to treat it as such. European Union is under attack. The United States is under attack. You never know. They're not hitting the same country over and over and over again, which is easy to defend at that point. They'll hit the United States. They'll hit France. They'll hit the United States. They'll hit Brussels. They're spreading their attacks out. They've hit Canada. They're jumping all over the map, so it's hard to detect who's going to be next. We need to stop pussyfooting around. We're not going to win this by dropping little bombs on them. Just like anything else in life, you just can't go one thing over and over again and expect. You can't just sit there and drop bombs on them. And you want proof? Bush 41, and I know he was pressured. I'm not trying to put all the blame on him. Calm down. His shock and awe against Iraq really did nothing. It was a oh wow moment, but it didn't stop anything that was going on in Iraq. We got to stop thinking that. No, I don't want to get our men and women killed. No, I don't. It's just as I don't want to see firefighters get killed or cops get killed. But that's kind of part of the job. That's what they train for, is to go into these dangerous situations. That is what our military is trained for. And no, I don't want to every turn be running and sending them somewhere, but enough is enough with ISIS. We need to wipe them off the map. And I know people, there's just going to be another group right behind them. If we hit them so fucking hard that no other group dares to step up, stop handcuffing our military. Stop handcuffing our war efforts. And then maybe we can stop living wondering when the next explosion is going to happen. I know, you big bad left. You don't fear nothing. Bullshit. Sometimes you're just too stupid to realize what's going on and the chances and everything that are going to happen. My heart goes out to Belgium. I wish there was something we could do more than just put prayers out there for you. But unfortunately, we now have an administration and a government that's too much of a pussy and has no balls to step up. He'd rather go to Cuba and take ridicule than stand up for any. He won't even stand up for the United States, and he's our president. I don't expect him to stand up for Belgium. And with that, I apologize to Europe that we can't help you because we got a president that has no balls. What is it going to take in this world to prove that socialism does not work? What's it going to take? I have no idea. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com and hppundit.com. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cow for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless, but today's bombing, there's no making sense of that. It is a group of people. And no, it's not that they hate the United States or they hate the European Union. They just hate. They're going to hate no matter what. And it's peace, love, and all that is not going to fix the problem. Sometimes force can only be fought with force. And this hippie tree hugging crap is about on my nerves. Innocent people are getting murdered because we got so-called leaders of the world that are too afraid to stand up. It just... This is why this election is important. We need a strong person to lead this country. We need a strong person that's going to not be afraid to piss people off. Not be afraid to offend. Because that's the problem we've been having. We've been tiptoeing around the Middle East and afraid to offend anybody. Oh well. Offend away. And see, this is where I disagree with Glenn Beck, Mr. Beck of, we don't need a strong man as long as the people are strong. No, we need a strong leader. And what's scary is he just called Cruz a weak man by saying that. I know, Cruz fans are going to be pissed at me for that. That was Glenn Beck's words, not mine. And I wanted to also give a little thing. I got an disagreement with somebody on comment that he says, Trump said you're going to punch people in their face. You're going to punch them in their face. No, he didn't. Yes. Well, a buddy of mine, one of my best friends, sent me a message, said, you're wrong, Joe. He did say it. And gave me a video. He gave proof to his comments. So I said, all right, I'll watch it. And I watched it. He didn't exactly say, I'm going to punch you in the face. And it was all over. There was reports of people with tomatoes that were going to be thrown at Trump during an event. And he said it's okay for the people to smack him around. But he didn't say punch him in the face. That's coming from the punch him in the nose comment. And if someone came up to me and said, I'm going to punch you in your nose, I would die laughing. But I actually just turned around and said, you know what? There was a comment that I didn't hear. You were right. I can admit sometimes when I'm wrong. I don't think I was totally wrong on that one because it wasn't the punch you in your face. Because where they're getting that from is the punch in the nose. We need a leader that's going to stand up and say, defend ourselves. Everybody needs to defend themselves. With what's going on in this world, we can't expect the police to be there. We can't expect the military to be there. We have innocent lives taken. And no, I don't know if anything would have stopped this with currently what's going on. Trying to see if I can find any updates that are going on at this point before we go on with the show. Now, later on in the week, I'll probably have more on this as the week goes on. And as information is coming out and it's more reliable. Right now, it's just going to be all over the place. That in January, Brussels tourists put out a video that tried to persuade visitors that the city was safe. Growing shrines are already popping up all over the city. Flowers, candles. And I know people are hurting. That's not going to solve. And the European European Commission to be evacuated. The headquarters of the European Commission will be evacuated by Belgian police at 4 p.m. local time. Yeah, they're getting evacuated and put into protective custody, but the people, the everyday people like you and me, well, we're left to fend for ourselves because our government, and when I say that, I mean the world government, are too afraid to do anything. And it scares me. And if it doesn't scare you what's going on, that's not a good thing. And I'm not talking about running the room, hiding in the closet, shaking scared. But I'm talking a fear that the world is not safe. Since 9/11, this world has changed. When planes fly a little too low, it makes me look and makes me cringe. That type of fear. A fear that tells us we need to watch what we're doing. Our governments aren't doing anything to help. And they are important, these people. And it's just been, this is what we said is going to happen. And it's happened in Paris. It's happened in Brussels. There's been little incidents that have been happening all over Europe. And this is what we didn't want. This is what we don't want in the United States. This is why the people have been screaming, no, we don't want this. And the leaders, you don't know what you're talking about. This is why elections are important. It's all right. We're going to try to get on. I had a lot lined up for today. If I get any news, Paris is going to light the Eiffel Tower tonight in the colors of the Belgian flag. My heart goes out to the people. I wish there was something I could say or do. But if there's any more news that pops up, I'll try to pass it on. I do have one question. If someone is paid to go to events and cause trouble, are they really protesters? Are they really protesting when they are paid to go there to be disruptive? That is not protesting. That is being paid, Merc, to interfere and to stifle free speech. Lead anti-Trump protester. Well, the one problem they did with the tactics they used, they got arrested, which means their names become public, which means it's easy to backtrack their history. And one of the women that changed herself to a vehicle has done just that. Anti-Trump protesters caused chaos and trampled the rights of Americans again this past weekend when they blocked a highway leading to a Donald Trump rally in Arizona. One of the ringleaders for the protest was arrested. Now that she's been identified, damning details about her past are being exposed, and it's becoming clear who is really inciting the riots among American voters in the race to the 2016 presidency. I also want to take it back. You had the gentleman, and I had his name somewhere, and I can't find it. The gentleman that ran up on stage and tried to go after Trump on stage, he tried to get the podium, whatever. He had that big, long thing on CNN, and by the way, he's a drama actor. He's not a protester. These people are not protesters. They're being paid to be there. They don't even know why they're here half the time. The media gets them. I'm just here. Don't interview me. But this woman, she was one of 3 protesters, and Gonzalez is her last name. I'm butchering it. I don't care. I butcher last names all the time. She was arrested Saturday in the foothills of Arizona after she blocked a road, causing massive delays. While many wanted us to believe that she and the others like her are part of some grassroots opposition to GOP frontrunner Donald Trump, the woman's past paints a much different picture. After shutting down traffic for 2 hours in Arizona, the Mexican native was arrested and charged with blocking a public road. She acted as the lead protester, chaining her neck to a pickup truck, and here's the irony. She doesn't even live in Arizona. Although whether or not she's even an American citizen is unclear, she is a New Orleans resident. That's not even close to the worst part. After her arrest, her name was released to the public, and that's when the Gateway Pundit did some digging and found out some interesting information on her. As they report, she is a trained community organizer and a Soros Justice Fellow. She was a lead organizer for the Congress of Day Laborers with the New Orleans Worker Center for Racial Justice, and is a graduate of Wesleyan University, was a 2011 recipient of the Soros Justice Fellowship, which grants between $58,000 to $110,000 to individuals to undertake projects that advance reform, catalyst change on a range of issues facing the criminal justice system in the United States, and spurs debate. The source added, this fellowship is part of a larger effort within the Open Society Foundation's Justice Fund that was started by billionaire George Soros, who supports democracy and human rights in more than 100 countries, and he's also banned in several countries. The 85-year-old business magnate has been a prominent international supporter of democratic ideas and causes for more than 30 years. In other words, this hack is trained by none other than the American-hating, liberal-loving George Soros. While many demand Trump's head on a platter for inciting riots, the left is quiet about Soros and MoveOn.org paying protesters to cause a disturbance. It's obvious who's inciting what, but since the Democrats and mainstream media enjoy their warm, comfy place in Soros' pocket, they will certainly turn a blind eye to the left act of terrorism. And this is exactly why Trump is rising in popularity with the American left. Now, I hate using those types of words of act of terrorism, because that is not an act of terrorism. Brussels is an act of terrorism. And it is, I understand why this writer is doing it. He's trying to keep up with the left and their PR department. I lambaste the left for saying such disgusting comments. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show.
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be me anymore.
Just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm trying to make sense out of this senseless. Now, I just got this posting by Sackhead Sean. Belgium knew an attack was imminent. They had planned for an imminent attack. The whole country was aware and on alert. They were actively pursuing terror suspects, and still they were attacked. That is why, and I agree with Sean on this, you need to be aware of your surroundings and never fall victim to assuming you're safe. Be alert and never be afraid to report what you see, people. Pay attention to your surroundings. It's not an active that you're fearing, but you can pay attention to your surroundings. It may not be a terror attack that you keep from happening, Robbery. Mugging. So, just pay attention to your surroundings, please, people. Pay attention. I hate having to report about these attacks. Soros board member chairs firm running online voting for Tuesday's Utah caucus. Oh my God. For today's vote, Soros board member is in charge of that company. Smartmatic Group, an electronic voting firm whose worldwide headquarters is located in the United Kingdom, will be running the online balloting process in the Utah Republican Open Caucus on Tuesday. The chairman of Smartmatic Board, Lord Mark Malloch Brown, currently serves on the board of George Soros Open Society's foundations and has close ties to the billionaire. The Wall Street Journal dubbed the Republican Party's online venture on Tuesday as one of the biggest online votes conducted so far in the United States, and the largest experiment with online presidential voting since 2004, when Michigan allowed Democrats to vote in a party caucus via the internet. Now, that I would love to see more of that happening, the online voting, but the problem is it is open to hacking. It is open to a lot of shenanigans, evil shenanigans. I don't exactly trust the online voting. And I was one of them, for it at first, and then I started thinking, my father was like, "You're an idiot. Look how easy it is to hack into these companies and governments. How hard would it be for someone to hack in to an online voting?" Also, remember, if you want to support the show, I haven't been really able to talk about this today, and I feel kind of bad to even talk about it now with what's happened in Belgium. But if you want to support the show, go to Reaver.one, click on the store, grab yourself a Reaver shirt, a Reaver hoodie, or a coffee mug. Now, Cruz said Trump should denounce KKK over the endorsement, but yet embraces endorsement from two men who are part of a theologically cult. Sometimes the hypocrisy is so glaring that it demands you comment on it. In February, David Duke encouraged his supporters to vote and volunteer for Donald Trump. This drew the wrath of all sorts of political pundits, as well as GOP presidential candidate, including Ted Cruz. However, in recent days, we have not heard the Texas senator denounce two prominent Mormons, whose church historically has been racist against blacks and as a theologically cult that masquerades as though it is Christianity. These two men are two-time losers, liberal and establishment stooge Mitt Romney, and the other is Glenn Beck. Calling Glenn Beck a loser is actually a compliment for that scumbag. Why is this important? First, recognize that the LDS Church, nonprofit Brigham Young, clearly engaged in radical discrimination in the church. But later the church only changed that due to cultural pressures that were brought to bear on them. Second, and most importantly, it is vital that a man that claims to be a believer make sure that everyone understands that Mormons are not Christians. They deny that Jesus Christ is God, but rather claims he is a created being, the spirit brother of Lucifer. Not only does this make them similar to heretic airs. Sorry, someone's at the door, so it kind of made me look. But it also makes them Antichrist. Just everything's going off. Got my phone. As defined by Apostle John. I bring this up because of recent statements by Glenn Beck. On Saturday, Beck spoke at a Utah rally for Senator Ted Cruz and Mike Lee. I am a convert to the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, he explained. What attracted me was not only the truth of the message, but also the people like President Lee and President Benson, who knew exactly who we were as a country, Beck said. I joined many times. What held me through was the prophecy that the Constitution will hang by a thread, and this people would remember what our founders did. It is our responsibility to stand for the Constitution. The prophecy that Beck is referring to was allegedly made by Mormon founder Joseph Smith in 1843, but which the LDS Church has officially rejected because it is based on accounts that have not been substantiated by historical research and is not embraced as church doctrine. It is known as the White Horse Prophecy. Now, consider that when he said this, Ted Cruz, a man that claims to be a biblical Christian, stood among with others and applauded Beck's statement. He didn't call him out. He didn't renounce Joseph Smith as a false prophet or Beck as a false teacher. He applauded him. According to the prophecy of Smith, the Mormons who followed him, you will go to the Rocky Mountains. You will be a great and mighty people established there, which I will call the White Horse of Peace and Safety. You will see the Constitution of the United States almost destroyed. It will hang like a thread as fine as a silk fiber. So Beck doesn't even hold to his own LDS official statements, but rather has believed this prophecy for quite a while. On Saturday, he openly expressed this to the crowd in attendance, and Ted Cruz never denounced one word. I want to tell you this, said Beck. Another thing I shouldn't say, but I'm going to. I believe in the Book of Mormons. I don't know about you guys, but I believe in the Book of Mormons, and that was written for a time to tell people what it would look like when it was all coming undone. So his people, who are called by his name, could humble themselves, and he would heal our land. I believe in that. The question is, do you believe? Perhaps prepare for a time of miracles. Cruz said nothing to correct the aberrant and the hysterical view of Beck or of Mormonism. No, Mr. Beck, I don't believe a word of the Book of Mormons, and yes, I have read it. See, this is some of the problems when you start bringing religion. When you start pushing one, you start offending another, and another, and another. You shouldn't be embarrassed to hide your religion, but in politics, bringing your religion into it, you're going to piss off others. You're going to push others away. And when you have some sick, deranged man like Glenn Beck, it's not going to be good. And I've called for Cruz to denounce Beck. Beck is a sick man. And I have several things to show just how deranged this man is. The white horse prophecy was also put forward when Mitt Romney was looking to obtain the Oval Office. So in the interest of being consistent, I call on Senator Ted Cruz to renounce the open, unbiblical enticing of people to the theological cult that does not have as their founder the God of the Bible, but rather an unrepentant false prophet named Joseph Smith. I would call on Ted Cruz to hold up the law of God and call those who have been deceived by Mormonism to repent and in faith in Jesus Christ of the Old and New Testament. However, knowing that Cruz's father teaches some of the outright ridiculous and heretic things he does, which fall along similar lines to what Beck promoted without the Mormon flavor, I won't hold my breath that he would actually call Mormons to repent for what they are engaged in. Frankly, a person wins the race by getting votes, no matter who they come from. However, if you're going to be pointing your finger at one guy for accepting votes for open racists and not denouncing their ideology, do you not think it is a little hypocritical when the ideology of two of your biggest supporters strikes at the very person you claim is the only savior of sinners? And that's, it gets real touchy with all this. But Glenn Beck, and this is the one, Glenn Beck brings fasting child on stage at Cruz rally, yells, "This is the priesthood rising." Glenn Beck brought a fasting child on stage during his campaign speech for Ted Cruz in Utah. Beck declared to the Cruz crowd, "This is the priesthood rising." Glenn Beck, Dale is from Provo. I met him just a few minutes ago. I want to tell you why I have hope. And he goes on to tell him everything, which I have a sound clip, and I'll play it in a minute. But I want to point out a couple things. Listen as Beck screams, "Make America great again." And not too long ago, he was bashing Trump for that logo and slamming it, saying it's ridiculous. But now he is stealing it and using it for himself. Just goes to show his jealousy to Trump. And then he starts his crying. This guy cries more than a teenage girl dumped on prom night. And I find it sick and depraved to bring a child up there and use him as a prop for an election. I find it sick, disgusting, and depraved. There you go. This is Beck's own words.
Government out of your way and the people make America great again. Government out of your way and the people make America great again. Government out of your way and the people make America great again.
See, he says make America great. He's saying the people make America great again. But he bashed that statement. And Trump has not said he's going to make it. We are going to make America great again. I mean, it is blatant and desperation. Here comes the tears.
Come in. Not you, Rafe. Dale. My son, Rafe. Dale is here. You from Provo? Dale is from Provo. I met him just a few minutes ago.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
I want to tell you... I want to tell you why I have hope.
Oh, my God.
Dale introduced himself to me. And he didn't tell me this, his father did. Dale has been fasting without anybody knowing it every Tuesday for the last 3 weeks for the right outcome in this election. This is the priesthood rising.
This is Glenn Beck losing his mind. It's not because he's religious. I don't give a shit about his religion. This is scary with Glenn Beck. And Ted Cruz needs to disavow that man. It is, oh my God, it's disgusting. Disgusting. But you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on HPPundit.com and RebootingLiberty.com and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm breaking back in a little bit early. Just coming across, ISIS has now claimed responsibility for the attacks in Brussels. Again, ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attacks in Brussels. It's getting ridiculous with this. We are allowing this terrorist group to run freely across the world with it. It leaves me speechless. Absolutely speechless that we have allowed this group to operate as it has for several years now. I don't care what excuses. This part of the government, the CIA created them. No, Bush created them. No, Clinton created them. No, Hillary created them. No, Obama. I don't give a fuck. They need to be wiped off the map. Not Muslims, ISIS. We need to make an example out of ISIS and scare the shit out of anyone who even thinks to attack one of our allies or thinks to attack the United States. Whether it's these little lone wolf attacks or these small little bombings, make it so that they're so scared shitless. No, we got too many rules and regulations that protect our enemies and tie the hands of our men and women who do the fighting. And don't give me this tree-hugging crap. Oh, well, we need to treat everybody nice. No, we don't. They attack, we attack 10 times worse. What is that Japan said? They will never attack the United States again. They understood. They woke up a sleeping giant and they got their ass handed to them and they deserved it. We need to make an example like that again. I'm not saying let's go drop nuclear bombs. We need to put the fear in these people's eyes so that they never stand up and try to harm anybody again. You will not get peace through hugs and discussion. You will not get peace from playing their games. How many more innocent people have to die before all the world leaders get off their pussy ass and do something? It infuriates me. We have sat by. I know we're lobbing some missiles at them. Take that. We're going to go hit an empty camp. Take that. It's absolutely sickening. Revolting. ISIS is gripping this world in terror. And the world leaders allow it. The United States allows it. We are supposed to be one of the strongest countries. Obama's rhetoric is being disproven. We are not strong like we used to be. We are nothing, really. I mean, no one fears us anymore. There is fears of more attacks to come today. Honestly, my opinion, they've done their attacks. They're done. This far apart, that's not their MO. But they have some intel, I guess, that one of their nuclear reactors was also a target. But it is not unlike ISIS. You put out Now, I don't know exact numbers, but I'm just giving an example. You give out 20 targets. You hit 3 of them. Now it's going to cause them to fear and try to start protecting the other 7. That causes chaos. That causes more terror than the actual attack. Because now you also have to sit back and wait. Is this going to happen? But you cannot not do it, because at that point, that's when they will start making those attacks. There's no... you can't fight this kind of terror with hugs and letters and discussions. You have to meet their terror with terror. Now, Ted Cruz, we've been talking about, and mostly Glenn Beck, that sick fucker. Ted Cruz refuses to disavow Lindsey Graham endorsement. Senator Ted Cruz refused to disavow, and Congress' most zealous advocate for wage-cutting, mass migration, foreign military interventionists, and donor-driven attack on GOP voters. As the Never Trump movement continues to battle against the Republican electorate who has voted for Donald Trump, Senator Graham has come out in support of Cruz, the newly anointed choice of many party insiders. I think the best alternative to Donald Trump to stop him from getting to 1237 is Ted Cruz, and I'm going to help Ted Cruz in every way I can, Graham told CNN. And it's not we're going to help Ted get the nomination. It is we're going to help Ted stop Trump from getting to the 1237. They are using Ted, and he's more than gullible enough to go, okay, thank you, let's go. The man is not an outsider. He is not anti-establishment. He is that child that is on the outside and makes all the comments. I don't want to be part of that group. They're mean. They're this. Oh, I got invited. Oh, hi. Thank you. They're not even saying we're going to help you to win the nomination. We're going to help you to stop Trump. Cruz's motto, I'm here to stop Trump. Does that tell anybody anything? Not, I'm here to win. I know he says it, but everybody else is. And actually, he's even said it. Well, I'm here to stop Trump for getting the nomination. On Monday, Graham, who had previously endorsed Jeb Bush for president and midwifed the Gang of Eight bill with Amnesty partner Marco Rubio, will headline a fundraiser in support of the Canadian-born senator. Anyone who refuses to follow our current existing immigration laws puts America at risk. That's treason. The founders of this country and the framers of our Constitution would agree, said Cruz constituent Dave something when asked about Lindsey Graham, a Texas who supports Trump. Galvak lost his 25-year-old son when an illegal alien randomly chose my son's head for target practice. I couldn't. I don't never know how that guy feels, that anger and the hurt. And because this is a guy that's in Ted Cruz's state, is a constituent of Ted Cruz, but he supports Trump because of the fact that Cruz and Lindsey Graham have supported pathways to stay in the country from illegal aliens. And yes, Ted Cruz has backed a pathway. Now, I didn't say citizenship, on how to get green cards and so forth so they could stay in the country. He is just much for rewarding people for breaking our laws, as Marco Rubio and the rest of the politicians. Trump surged as the Republican Party frontrunner on his campaign platform of deporting illegal aliens, promoting trade deals that prioritize the interests of American workers, and rejecting the party's elite desire for increased military adventurism. Ted Cruz, by contrast, wrote an op-ed urging Congress to fast-track Obama's TPP. No fast-tracked trade agreement has ever been defeated. Senator Graham's energetic endorsement of Cruz, and Cruz's refusal to disavow the endorsement of a man who many believe portrayed the American people with his unyielding push for mass migration, will no doubt raise questions as to whether Cruz still supports his 2013 amendment to radically expand immigration. Graham, as a backer of the 2013 Rubio-Schumer amnesty plan and the 2007 McCain-Kennedy amnesty plan before that, is perhaps the Republican Party's most outspoken proponent of open border immigration policies. Perhaps more than anyone, Senator Graham has attacked GOP voters, lawmakers, and thinkers for opposing mass migration policies. Indeed, one of the most extreme declarations in support of dissolving America's borders was articulated in a 2007 address Lindsey Graham gave to La Raza. In his remarks, Graham urged that being America is an idea and that no group owns being an American. Oh, God, I want to bang my head against the wall. Yeah, there is a group that owns being an American. United States. Hey, Dave, how's it going? The answer to me in solving the immigration problem is just focusing on what it means to be an American. That is the key to this problem. An American is an idea. No group owns being an American. Nobody owns this. It's an idea that's unique to the planet, and one of the centerpieces of this idea is that you come here trying to knock it out of the park as a person. And the reason that I've gotten involved in this is because Senator McCain started talking to me about it from an Arizona perspective, and I want to thank Senator McCain for being a leader. Applause for La Raza Group ensued. And I don't do this much, but I want to thank Ted Kennedy because those two gentlemen got this thing started. Our immigration system is broken. We need to find a way to get people right with the law. We are going to solve this problem. We're not going to run people down. We're going to scare them. We're going to tell the bigots to shut up. And we are going to get this right. That was the speech Lindsey Graham wanted to tell to La Raza. This is a man that's backing Cruz, who Cruz won't disavow. And that says it all. The man has called those who are against open borders bigots. This is a man who's turned his back on the conservative values, but acts like he's one of the main. He is the establishment, and he's everything that is wrong with the GOP nowadays. I should say he's one of many. In a back-and-forth email thread with Cruz's campaign, Breitbart News asked several times whether Senator Cruz disavowed Lindsey Graham's endorsement. But the campaign refused to answer on multiple occasions. Everything going on just has my head spinning today. This attack, we sit around and we play tiddlywinks and do nothing when we should be putting the fear of Allah in these groups. I know that has nothing to do with what I was just talking about. It's just I'm so... we need to stop playing pussyfoot and attack ISIS. And I'm tired of this. Well, we need the Middle East. No, enough of it. We've let the Middle East fuck it up already. We need to step up, put our big boy pants on, and go annihilate ISIS. That easy. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, trying to make sense out of the senseless. I don't know. It doesn't seem right doing all the promos and all that today. I just saw a posting from he's a friend of mine. He is a liberal, but he is a friend of mine. We usually have very good conversations. And his comment, they're talking about people don't know where Brussels is, but we want to police the world. No, we don't want to police the world. We've always been the authority for not always, but for the longest time. We've been in authority. We've been the strong ones. We've had the better military. We've been able to stand up for the little guy. It is protecting and helping our allies, not policing the world. And if you think, any of you liberals think we are the only ones that make comments about other countries, you don't know foreign policy. You have Russia making the comments too. You have every country, they're all commenting on how other countries act. And it's just, I don't care if 3/4 of America doesn't know where the hell Belgium is. I don't care. I don't care if you don't know where Brussels is. I don't care. That doesn't mean we shouldn't help. We shouldn't stop these atrocities from happening. But what that does is it shows that the liberal education does not work. So just because I may not be able to spell, something means I shouldn't be allowed to be involved in it. Because I can't put my finger exactly on a map where one country is. It makes me not have a right to care about other countries that we should protect. I mean, I do know where Brussels is. I love my friend. I love him. I just lately he's been going further and further and further into the dark side. You know what? The last 7 years has proven what happens when the United States does not lead. We are on the verge of World War III. If not, we are already in it because this is just a new type of warfare. This shows you exactly the liberal policies when we do not lead. This is what happens when we follow, when we dismantle our military. This is not because of a Barack Obama. He's been nothing but a figurehead for other people's policies that are being pushed. Say that 10 times fast. These policies, this ideology is what I have an issue with. And I'm getting tired. And my friend doesn't do it with me. He knows I am not racist. He knows it. And he's even stood up for me on his Facebook feed. Me and him have open conversations back and forth. And we don't get offended. And I'm not offended right now. Just Are we not supposed to care? Are we not supposed to say, let's stand up to ISIS? We're supposed to keep letting them run shot all over everything? We're supposed to sit here and allow these atrocities to keep happening? Or, I'm sorry, we're supposed to just drop a couple bombs here and there. And that'll solve everything. A little shock and all. That'll solve everything. This is not, I said it earlier and I'll keep saying it again. I'm not going to back down from it. I don't want to wipe out the Muslim religion. I don't have a problem with all of Muslims. And I do understand some of them can't speak out because they would be target number one then. But this ideology that's running through the Middle East, and there's even people who don't like us have stood up. I think it was Iran, or I can't remember which Middle East country. Not because I don't know where they are on a map. It's because I just can't remember. There's so much shit that goes on every day, it seems like. And she turned around, she said she hates Americans' foreign policy. She hates America. But what she's not going to do is blame the problems of the Middle East on America or Britain. It is not the American or Britons that is running through the Middle East cutting people's heads off. It is not the Americans running through playing soccer with severed heads. It is not the Americans running through having a religious litmus test. It is the Muslim ISIS group that is doing it. She doesn't like America. She doesn't like Britain. But she is not going to blame their problems on us. We were not around 1,000 years ago. We were not around 1,005, 1,006 years ago. The Muslim and the Middle East have been fighting for many, many, many a moons. It's easy to point the finger and blame everyone else for their problems. It is the childish way out. It's easier to blame somebody else than look at yourself and say, holy shit, we have a problem. We've sat on our ass for 7 years and watched this shit go down. Yes, I know. He sent people into Afghanistan. The policies we had have caused issues. Indirectly, directly, on purpose, by accident, I don't give a shit. We can debate that for years to come, but what we need to do, we need to stand up. We had a lot of this almost done with. And it's such a quickness for a nation because we're tired of war. Well, you know what? I'm tired of war too. But I would rather fight it and get it done with than drag it on like it's going. Instead of leaving that Band-Aid on till everything was healed, the current government decided to rip it off and open the wound back up. We have left forces in countries for God knows how long. We still got forces in Germany because of World War II. And don't give me the bullshit excuse. Well, Iraq didn't money. Obama. No, Obama was trying to do something for his legacy, so he yanked the Americans out of there when they shouldn't have. Iraq was not ready. It's... And I'm not trying to dump it all on one administration. There was mistakes made, but that's what pisses me off. There was mistakes made, and what does the administration do? Points its fingers everywhere else. But instead, you know what? Shit, I shouldn't have done it. I won't let that happen again. We will go forward, and we will learn from here. And you know what? I would sit back and say, you know what? That's a leader. He recognized there was a mistake made. He took responsibility for it. And he went on and he corrected the issue. And this has gone on for years through administrations. And this isn't just an Obama issue. This has been going on for years. But we can't keep letting ISIS do these attacks. We can't be importing and redistributing the terrorists. Why do you think they are going to Europe and the United States? Why are they not going to other Middle Eastern countries? Because they know who the fuck they are, and they don't let them in their countries. They know they're going to start issues. They're going to start problems. They're going to start bombings. So, they don't allow them into their country. What does Europe do? Against the wish of the people, politicians keep thinking that they run these countries. You run it because we allow you to. And for too many years, we've sat on our ass and allowed these countries to run freely. The governments run and take up more power than they should. And that's why you're seeing a little uprising in the United States. We need, I've said it several times today and I'll keep saying it, we need to stand up to ISIS, knock them back so far, and put the fear into all these groups. That if you come and step up and do these attacks, I agree with Trump. I'm getting tired of these fucking rules. I'm getting tired of being handcuffed. Start wiping out these terrorists and their families. People are going to be afraid to stand up to that. Put the fear of Allah. And it's not nice to say I understand that, and it's not an ideology that I like to think of. But these attacks, I don't see any other way of squashing them. There is no negotiations. There is no talking to them. Time for negotiations are done. Time to put a foot up their ass is now. No, I do not want to police the world. But I also don't want them having the power that they do. And if anybody thinks it's not going to happen here, it's happened here. Not on the scale of Europe, but we've had it happen here. And don't tell me banning shit's going to work, because it has not worked. My heart just goes out to Brussels, France, and I'm getting tired of speaking on it. While our current administration sitting in Cuba getting ridiculed, and they're just sitting there with a smile and apologizing. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cough for the stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show,
I don't want to be me. I don't want to be anymore.
just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
Welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. Trying to make sense out of the senseless, and I'm just... With what happened today, it kind of puts everything in perspective of how petty and small these arguments in the United States over an election are. I mean, the election is important, don't get me wrong, but all this petty argument amongst ourselves, how small it is when you look at something, what just happened in Brussels. I'm sorry, it's kind of got me a little bit speechless about, I've had all these articles picked out for today, and it just seems so petty compared to I'll try to give a little comedy. An anti-Trump protester, April Foster, charged with hitting police horse in Kansas City. April Foster, a woman protesting outside a Donald Trump rally last weekend in Kansas City, was arrested on charges of striking a police horse. From the Kansas City Star, Kansas City police arrested a woman accused of slapping a police horse outside a Donald Trump rally last week, shortly before officers released pepper spray on the crowd of protesters. Now, I gotta ask this. Now, did she walk up and slap it on the horse's ass? Would that be a sexual harassment or, some kind of sexual crime? And I'm making light of it, I know, but it's not funny. I mean, it is technically a law enforcement. And you can't go around slapping them. I understand that. It's kind of stupid that the woman would put herself at risk, get arrested for slapping a horse because she's unhappy about someone running for president. You know what? Deal with it. Be an adult. Nominate who you want in your primaries. And then when the elections come around in November, vote for who you want. There's your protest. Vote for who you want. I know it's a foreign concept in this fucking country, but vote for whoever you want. I feel like a broken record today, but I said it before and I'll say it again. I do not give a shit who you vote for. It is your right. Whether I agree with your vote or not, it is your right. So knock this goddamn protesting bullshit. You're not changing anybody's mind. If anything, you're making people's views stronger. You're pushing people towards the people you're protesting, you morons. Don't you get that through your head? You are pushing people towards Donald Trump. It's truth. You're pissing people off with your tactics. You're pushing them towards them because it's saying, hey, you know what? If people are this adamant, maybe I need to look at this guy. And they start looking, and then they start supporting. Because why? Because you're stupid enough to start pushing. April Foster, who is 29, was arrested about 5 p.m. Friday and charged with abuse of a police service animal. Foster was later released after posting a $500 bail and scheduled to appear in municipal court on May 4th. Police have been searching for the woman who hit the horse. The horse, named Dan, was hit while officers on horseback attempted to control protesters and keep them out of the street outside a Trump rally March 12th in downtown Kansas City. According to the police report, the woman had first screamed in the horse's face to scare him. When that did not work, the report said the woman hit the horse with an open hand. Now, why couldn't she have actually been standing behind, trying to scare the horse and slap him on the ass? Because that would have been funny as hell to watch that horse kick her. Get one of those like old time, she's flying through the air. I thought the left was against abuse of animals. If a conservative did this, oh my God, the immediate attention. CNN would be like camped outside of some anti-abuse center, doing minute reports of how the horse is doing. The horse is now getting treatment. Yes, we're understanding we're getting treatment. The skin abrasion is really severe, and they don't know if they're going to be able to save the hair on the horse. They're shaving the horse. Oh, the horror. They're shaving the horse right now to alleviate slight swelling in the area. They'd be doing around-the-clock reports if it was conservative that slapped the horse. And then they're the ones that stand up and cry that they're the ones for the animals. The only thing you are for is to make noise. I find... Yep, they sentenced her to public service. Cleaning up horse shit in all the horse stalls. By hand. But they're supposed to be anti-abuse of animals. And her whole idea to stop Trump was to yell in the horse's face and scare him. Why? So he can buck the officer, break his neck, and send the horse charging where it runs into a crowd of people and kills a kid. That was her brilliant idea? No, I don't think she thought it through. They don't think anything through. A Colorado landlord will not rent to Donald Trump supporters. A landlord in Grand Junction, Colorado, stated in his listing he will not rent to Republican candidate Donald Trump supporters. I guess I did it because I want America to wake up, and I know that I can't change people's vote by any vote for Donald Trump is in the wrong direction. Explained the landlord, Mark Holmes. He told 9 News he considers himself a political activist. While the Fair Housing Act does not allow landlords to discriminate, it does not mention political affiliation. Well, I think that would fall underneath the Fair Housing Act. I know it doesn't specifically say political affiliation, but it has to do with the person's belief. So we can discriminate on political affiliation. So great. We can now have these bakers that are Christians. And when someone comes in and wants to bake a cake for a gay wedding, they can say, I don't want to make it for you because you are a Democrat. I do not support Democrats, so I will not bake a cake for you. That would be okay. No, it wouldn't. They would be lambasted even worse. Why is it okay for the left to break the laws? Why is it okay for the left to say, we're not going to give you housing? What the? I don't care. If I'm renting a house out, you're paying me? Great. Go on in. Believe what you want. Don't mess the house up. You mess the house up, you're going to pay for it. I wouldn't give a shit. Money's green, no matter whose a political affiliation you're with. If this was reversed, the media would be flipping out. Flipping. Mainstream media. We're getting a live report. The house is still not rented to this Democrat who's backing Bernie Sanders. Supreme Court is getting ready to rule any minute now. We're hoping in a favorable view that this person will be sent to jail on Mars for the rest of his life because he did not agree to rent a house to a liberal. This is just racism in the worst kind, and we're hoping that he gets sentenced to Mars for life. When are we going to stop allowing this bullshit to happen? When are we going to stop allowing the left, the land-based everybody on the right, but the right get fucked right in the ass? God, wake up, people. Just getting screwed over nonstop. Dave, what does it say? I mean, they're saying that it's legal for him to do it. I don't know. Is it saying something different what you're posting? Dave the Unpleasant Guy just posted something from the portablehud.gov. Well, yeah, portable.hud.gov. Yeah, but I know it doesn't specifically say, but discrimination because of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, disability, and the presence of children. Okay, so we can start discriminating people based on their political ideology. So we can start discriminating on that. So I don't have to deal with liberals. I can discriminate against them because I don't agree with their political ideology. Cool! The hypocrisy in this whole thing, it just smells of disgusting liberal Alinsky bullshit. Can't say it enough. Well, it's that time for the show. Thank you, Dave, for... I just couldn't click on it just yet, and I appreciate the information. I really do. Everybody, go to Reaver.one, click on the Reaver store, and show your support. Get a t-shirt, walk around as a Reaver, loud and proud, and, well, hopefully there will be no more attacks to report tomorrow or the rest of the day on shrmedia.com or hppundit.com. And with that, I bid you a good day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.